Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Superwoman on our digital TV channel F15. My name is Heidi Eichinger, and on this broadcast, I'm talking to experienced leaders, young professionals, enthusiasts, founders, and executives who share lessons learned to increase diversity in their companies in order to be more productive, efficient, and hopefully happy. Today, it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to Olivera Böhm. Welcome, Olivera. It's so nice to have you here today. Hi.
Hello.
Olivera Böhm is a Chief Corporate and Affinity Business Officer, and she's also a member of the Business Executive Board at UNIQA. For those who watch from outside Austria or from outside Europe, UNIQA is one of the largest insurance companies in Central Eastern Europe. It's located in 16 European countries with an estimated turnover of 5.37 billion euros. Those are numbers from 2019. I guess the latest numbers will be released at the end of May, right?
Exactly, yeah. After the General Assembly in May, yeah.
Yeah. And so we will hear more about, about the growth of the company at the end of May. And it's headquartered in Vienna. And this is actually, Olivera, where you follow your career and you cause a kind of stir, even though you wouldn't say so yourself. But I'm very happy that today you will be sharing your story together with us. And let me just anticipate it to our dear viewers that it's really impressive. So I was really impressed by your story, and I thought it was really empowering and really worth sharing with our viewers. So thank you again for being here today in my very improvised studio. You see, normally you would see a shelf in the back, and but I moved a few weeks ago and I'm still waiting for the bookshelf. So you see my books piled up here in the background. So I thought, why not? It shouldn't be everything so professionally set up. So enough about this. Just let us start with a little description of UNIQA, the insurance company you're working for, and also the special unit you are working and responsible for. Please.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you today. And yeah, UNIQA Insurance is, you mentioned this, one of the leading insurance company in Europe, especially in Southeastern Europe. We're in headquarters. We have our headquarters in Vienna, and yeah, just to give you some additional numbers, we have 15 million customers. Most of them are in the Central Eastern region, European region. So Poland, Czech, Slovak, Hungary. This is especially because we also took over last year some company in the region. So we are growing, and our focus is definitely to really to give the best service to our customers. We are we have retail customers, but as you mentioned, my responsibility is enterprise customers. And here, the premium volume 2019 was about 600 million euros, which I'm heading with my team all over the countries. So there are approximately 450 people working in all the regions, in all the countries, on the enterprise, on the corporate business.
Mm-hmm. Is this corporate business one that's growing, or is it like at the moment quite stable? Just to give our viewers an idea how you did manage also this COVID situation in the last year.
Actually, we are growing on it's not a fast growing, but we are growing. Let's say it this
steady
way.
Growth.
Exactly. And the topic is we have influences definitely about the COVID crisis. Actually, the customers are even more realizing how important it is to have a partner to find solutions. if you have a big factory, you have to take into consideration that you might close it down, you need some help, how to have also the safety nets and how to do this in a manner that you can again also start it, and certain machines you even cannot turn that easily off. So yeah, it's a difficult time, especially for our customers, and our focus is really to help and to try to bring the solutions on the table that fits, and that's coming to the corporate business. That's exactly the part which is the most important, because each and every enterprise, each and every plant and factory is completely different, and our job is to find the right solutions.
Mm. So what I was very curious about you was indeed that as a young woman who, let's say, clapped eyes on the insurance sector and especially on the company you're working for, I mean, what was so interesting about the company itself and the work you're doing there that you really stayed for such a long time?
Yeah. It was I was working 10 years for foreign insurance companies, even in London for a period, and then I decided I want to be in a headquarter company, and I realized that the Austrian insurers in the end 90s, starting in the year 2000, are really expanding to Eastern Europe, and that was in fact the biggest reason to decide to join UNIQA, because it was clear that it will not just be the Austrian market, it will be the world, and our focus will become bigger, and we will expand, and the first 10 years working with UNIQA was exactly this mergers, acquisitions, analyzing markets, preparing the step into greenfield, to establish greenfield companies. So it was really the fact that it's not just Austria, it's much more. And for me, it was clear I want to build something. I want to grow something, to show that we can do it. In an excellent way.
It sounds like a kind of adventure as well, when you talk about like building companies into the green field. So it's like a picture into my mind, like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, suddenly UNIQA rises a company. Like
exactly, actually it was exactly this way. I mean, when we prepared our first business plans for Serbia, for Montenegro, for countries like, and when we prepared the takeover in Ukraine and in Albania, it was at that point of time the people were not used to travel there. Now these days, I would say everybody knows, everybody heard, Europe is becoming closer, but in the year 2000, when we start to speak about this, it was definitely far away, and what you're doing there, what did you wrong? I mean, I received once a question, what did you wrong that they sent you over there? Yeah, and I said nothing. It's so beautiful there. It's so different. It has so much opportunities, and in fact, that's the topic. You have to find the opportunities where you can really establish something. Yeah,
and within those years, your career grew and went bigger and bigger, because what I really found super interesting is that you literally worked your way up, and this is like for me the most interesting part of your story, and just also like your background, and I would love to share your life story and your career story with our viewers, because I think it's so impressive how you did it, and with such a big heart and good emotions and good feelings, but also surrounded by people who were quite skeptic about your talent and your motivations. Just please share a few stories from your past, Olivera.
Yes, I mean, it's my pleasure. I mean, I was born into an immigrant family in Vienna, and definitely it was clear that with 15 you have to start to work. And I had no clue where to start and what to do. And for me, it was really a coincidence that it was insurance, but I found out very, very, very quickly that insurance it can be much more than it's just a piece of paper with small letters. And in fact, if to come back to your questions, I was starting really with 15 as an apprentice in the insurance industry, where I had the chance to learn in all the departments, really from the bottom, the entire insurance company, the entire workflows, and really understand the core of the business. And that was a big luck, because I was sitting in a bookkeeping department in the same way as in a marketing department, as in a claims department. And so I learned really the entire business workflow to understand. And that was really, and even these days, this is helping me even after 30 years to find solutions, to find decisions in the right way, and even to stand up and to say, no, I know how this works. And I think this is exactly to reflect to your question. I think this is exactly what we have to do. We have to understand what we do. We have also to find our love. And I have to say that I found my love in insurance, because I realized there are so different parts. I mean, you can work in the bookkeeping, and you can work, for example, as I'm doing, with huge corporate customers, and you go to plants and you see workflows and you see products and you see developments which you wouldn't ever see if you were in whatever industry, in another industry. So I would say the lack of the insurance industry is definitely that you learn a lot of people, different people. If you see the retail business, if you see the corporate business, it's definitely you learn a lot, enterprises, and you see a lot on what's in this big and bright world outside.
But not everything was quite going so smoothly, as you tell it now. I mean, there have been also a few hurdles to overcome, right? What were they especially about? I mean, was it about being just a woman, to say it quite simple as this, or what was the insurance sector back then? Also, was it like a quite more old-fashioned, probably very male-dominated industry?
And it's all what you said. Yeah, it's all. It was a male industry, and in some cases, it's still. It was old-fashioned. It was and definitely, I have to say I have immigrant roots. I'm a woman at starting with 15, and later on it was even young woman. So definitely I fulfilled a lot of pictures, telling me it's
prejudices.
Exactly. Telling me impossible that you can do what you want to do. And what I can just say is, yes, there were a lot of topics, and I had even ways where I had to decide. I quit. I even had to decide at one point of time, I quit, because there is no way that I do what I want. I was never searching for a career path, but I was very much aware what I'm interested in. So for me, in the year 1995, after 5 years in the insurance industry, it was clear I want to go into this industrial sector, in this corporate sector, working with these big enterprises, thinking on tailor-made insurance solutions for the one plant you're right in, and trying to find what the customer need. And when I realized it's not possible, I mean, I was young, I was living with my parents, so it was definitely clear. It's easy to say I quit, yeah. But I really decided in one moment when it was clear I cannot go this path, I want to go. I even decided I have to quit. I have to find another way. And I think never, or for me, never it was important to make a career. It was always important to do things which I believed that they're senseful, meaningful, bringing added value. And if you close one door, you open another door. And that was my luck to finally end up in London and to learn really certain things again from the bottom. And here I just can say everybody should you have a feeling, and you should follow the feeling that at one moment you might be in a situation that you cannot continue, and you have to stand it. Yeah.
So it's really, it's quite intrinsic motivated, but nonetheless not always easy, to say so.
Exactly.
May I ask a more personal question about your environment? Who told you probably it will be impossible to reach what you want to reach in your career or your working life? How do they look at you now? I mean, you did it, literally. It's not an exaggeration to say she did it. She worked her way up, and now she is like really heading one of the most growing and important sectors in this huge company.
Yeah. I mean, to be very frank, a lot of these people are already retired. Yeah, but it's I mean, the time is passing, and I have my 30th anniversary in insurance company, so you see it's already a long time. But definitely the colleagues which didn't believe, they changed as well. Some of them, I mean, you mentioned which kind of people they were. They would never say openly, I made a wrong step. No, I don't think that you can expect this. But what's interesting is that still there is the one or the other say, okay, but at least I learned her something. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that people are then bright to say, okay, I did a wrong estimation or something, and I don't expect it at all, to be very frank. For me, it's the biggest compliment if I meet my former colleagues, and they said, okay, do you remember I learned you this part? Yeah, and that's interesting. And I think, to be very frank, I'm not caring about these old stories. For me, each and every very difficult part was even helping me. Because, as I said, I closed the one door, I opened another door, which was even a bigger advantage, a bigger chance to learn. When I realized that I have certain, there are certain troubles I have to overcome, I have to find a solution, I have to find a way how to really make the next step, and not to stuck into these problems, and not to stuck into the story. Because, as I said, if you just purely see your career, you might say my career went up and down and up and down. But for me, it was really, it's not the career, it's the content I do, and the sensefulness I do, which made me happy, and which brought me this way I'm right now. Yeah.
Get the learnings you get, even out of negative things you probably see as negative things at the moment, and who turn out to be like quite good learnings. So
exactly. Yeah.
It is said that in companies, strong women attract other strong women. So this is a question I have to ask you. What's about the ratio women and men, especially also in leading positions at UNIQA, and how does this change, if it changes?
I mean, the strong woman attracts strong woman. It's definitely the truth, and I think it's not just with women in this way. It's even a team. A strong team always attracts also a strong additional team members. So it fits definitely. And what I can say, especially internationally, UNIQA can be very proud. 50% of our board, of our B-1, of our leaders are women, and if in entire company internationally we are even 60% already. So it's a huge number. In Austria, it's still a way to go, but I see also in Austria really great and strong women in very important positions. So it's just a question of time when this will also be similar to the international part. I think we are a modern company, and we definitely don't, as in the boards where I am, we don't speak about the gender or about certain. We speak about the possibilities. We speak a lot of what are the potential, and especially when I'm in a decision process, what I try to make very transparent to my colleagues is definitely for men, sometimes you simply say, okay, you throw him to the cold water and he will learn to swim. For women, you sometimes say, okay, let's her train to swim, yeah, just to say it in this way. And here I say, no, we do the same way, yeah. We throw the women into the cold water in the same way, and that's what we should simply take into our DNA, that there is no, both has to learn it. Exactly, no change, yeah. and no differences, definitely.
But as a woman, and as a woman in such a high position, is it necessary to have like the attitude being a warrior as well? I mean, it's one thing to not be like being overprotected as a woman because you are a woman. I mean, yeah. But you have to also fight your things out and fight for your topics that you're really burning for, let's say. And yeah, I mean, would you yourself consider yourself a warrior or a kind of Amazon of the insurance sector?
I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't confirm this 200%. In certain moments, you have to be a warrior. You have to fight, you have to state your opinion, you have to stand, and you have to take over responsibility. But you don't do this 100% because then you overdo it, yeah. And you're not authentic. You cannot even stand this, yeah. So it's always the right balance. In some moments, you have to stand up. You have to know exactly when you do it. And you have to select and to take care on your energy as well. Because if you always make a lot of noise, there might be the saying that the women are hysterical or whatever, yeah, however you call it, yeah. I think it's not necessary. It's necessary if you have your opinion as women, you have to simply say it. And if you have the chance to take over responsibility, you take it. And I know that you question a lot yourself, and you especially a woman has certain ways of thinking which is definitely different than men. But this is okay, but you have to be aware, and that was I'm aware. I want to take these responsibilities. I want to change it. I want to go the way. And if it's necessary, you fight. If it's not necessary, you simply do it. Yeah. And in some moments, it's necessary to rise up your voice, and in some moments, it's even more clever to be very, very quiet.
Great. I mean, what would you generally recommend men and women, like young men and women who are standing at the beginning of their career and are in a probably comparable situation to yours? Just a few last empowering words to our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, I said this several times. You have to find the meaningfulness. You have to find what you really love to do, what you really, what you want really to achieve, yeah, and what you really want to understand. And for me, as I never make the difference between men, women, nationalities, whatever. It's not the topic. You have to understand a team is important, people you can rely on is important, and finally find what you like, find where you have your passion, go for it, yeah, and go for it really in 100%. That's what I just can give every young person with. It's important. I think it's the biggest difficultness to find what you want to do. But if you know it, go for it.
Great. So thank you very much for those empowering words, Olivera. I'm really so happy that we did this interview. We waited quite a long time to do it, and yeah, I was really curious to meet you and to talk to you, and it paid completely off. So thank you very much again for your openness, and I very much hope that we will have the opportunity to talk again, because I would be more than interesting how your unit and your sector under your lead will develop in the next years. And yeah, I mean, we also did an interview with your CEO, Andreas Brandstetter, and
I looked it, I watched it.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I watched it. I liked it very much. Yeah.
It was quite entertaining. So, but I think our talk was also really a fresh breath of air to me. Thank you for this. And
thank you, Heidi. It was really great. Thank you so much, and thank you for all this preparation, and also thank you for the chance that we talk. And for me, it was a big pleasure to learn you and to have the chance
we
to
can
speak
think about a follow-up. So I would really love to do it. And to you, our viewers, thank you very much for joining again. So we haven't seen each other for quite a long time, but now we're back. And we really would appreciate if you would subscribe our channel so that you don't miss any following broadcast. So thank you very much again, everybody, for watching. Stay healthy, take care, and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure. Thank you.